Okay, so our next topic is about using patterns and logic. So make sure you watch the whole video. If you have questions, make sure you send a message in the chat, in the Zoom chat. So the first thing we're going to talk about is inductive reasoning, which inductive reasoning is when you're using specific examples to make a conclusion, aka you're using patterns. So a lot of this part is you have to figure out what the pattern is and then do the pattern to get the next thing. Okay, so an example one, it says, what is the next term in the pattern? So there's a couple different patterns we could be talking about. We could be talking about number patterns, or we could be talking about picture patterns. In the number patterns, okay, if your numbers in your pattern are getting bigger, so bigger means that you're either, the pattern is either adding by the same number every time, or it's multiplying by the same number every time, okay? So if the numbers are getting bigger, then you have to figure out, is it adding or multiplying? If the numbers are getting smaller, then you're gonna subtract, or divide, okay? So when I'm looking at this first number pattern, my first question is, are the numbers getting bigger or smaller? Well, 3 to 8 to 13 to 18, that's bigger, okay? So if the numbers are getting bigger, I'm going to check what are they adding by, or what, if I do the adding and that doesn't work, I'm going to check what are they multiplying by. So these ones, if I checked multiplying, I don't know what number multiplies with 3 to give me 8. So I'm going to try adding first. I'm going to hope that it works. So to get from 3 to 8, what 3, I'm trying to figure out 3 plus what number gives me 8. Okay, if you can't figure it out, you can always subtract 3. Like, this is an equation. We can like solve the equation normally. So you would like subtract 3. If you don't already know, that question mark is 5. So right now, I'm thinking that the rule is plus 5. But it's not enough just to check, oh, well, for the first 2 numbers, yeah, it works. I need to check for all the numbers, does this pattern work for every single one? Okay, well, let's check. 8 to 13. Well, 8 plus 5, what does it equal? If you like mental math or type it in, it is 13, so that checks out. So that one, the rule is also plus 5, still works. I still have to check the last one because maybe the last one goes up by something else. Okay, so I'm checking 13 plus 5. Does it give me 18? Yes, so that checks out. So I can say for sure that the rule is plus 5. So that means I need to figure out what the next number is. Well, how do I do that? Well, you got to do 18. You got to do the rule on the last number. So I have to do 18 plus 5, and that's going to give me what I want. When I type that in the calculator, I get 23. Okay, so the next number in the pattern is 23. If I look at the second example, I can tell from 100 to 50 to 25, the numbers are getting smaller. Okay, so that means I'm either subtracting or dividing. Okay, so let's test subtracting. If I subtract, so subtracting would be 100 minus some number is going to give me 50. So what number minus from 100 gives me 50? If you did not know, that's 50. Okay, so right now I think the rule might be minus 50. But we're going to check, does that rule work on the next one? So I'm going to check 50 minus 50. What does that equal? It equals 0. Is that what this number said? No. So that's not the pattern. Not the pattern. So I'm going to erase all this because it's not right. Okay, well, if subtracting doesn't work, then we need to figure out dividing. Okay, we can do that. Okay, So if we're going to be dividing, you need to figure out, well, 100 divided by what number gives me 50? Well, I know that 100 divided by 2 is going to be giving me 50. So I could say, oh, the patterns divide by 2. Okay, well, let's check. We got to check 50. Let's check this. Divided by 2. Well, what is 50 divided by 2? Question mark. Well, what is it? 50 divided by 2 is 25, which is what the next number was. So that is the pattern. The pattern is divide by 2. Okay, so now I just need to do 25 divided by 2 to get the next number. So 25 divided by 2 is actually a decimal. Does that mean I'm wrong? No, it just means it's a decimal. So it's 12.5, I believe, is the answer. 12.5. Great. Okay. The other sort of patterns is when it's a picture. Okay, so I know there's a lot of writing over here, but we're going to do our best. So on my picture, I see, oh, well, the first picture is just a dot. The next picture, it's a square of dots. And the third picture is a square, but the squares keep getting bigger. How much bigger do they keep getting? Well, right now, I would say this is like just one dot, like sideways, and one dot height. On this one, oh, it's 2 dots this way and 2 dots this way. This one this way is 3 dots, 3 dots. So what do we think the last one's going to be? Oh, they're always going up by 1. So then mine's going to be 4 dots by 4 dots. So all you have to do is draw that. It does not need to be beautiful. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you have to fill in all the dots. Okay? Dot, 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 dot. Okay? Watch the next video if you have any questions.